Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Cast Revive, your weekly gaming music podcast and more. I am your host, Matt Heimerl, and here with the man that put on the wrong track as the opening cue, Brian Husky.
He did it on purpose.
He did. And that thunderous, inspiring opening that you heard is from Monster Hunter. We're supposed to be starting with the original theme from the PlayStation 2, but this was good as well. It really conveys what Monster Hunter is. There we go. Listen to it. Oh, it's beautiful. This game is amazing. Amazing. That was a good opening.
Ooh, you didn't like the feline kitchen music?
Feline kitchen music. Oh, my goodness. Monster Hunter originally came out in 2004 for the PlayStation 2 and changed my life forever. And I know it changed yours.
Mine too. Yeah, for sure. I love killing dinosaurs and wearing their skin.
It was so inventive at the time. I mean, like,
It really was.
I mean, you start out with literally nothing, just crap armor, crap weapons.
Naked. You have like a sarong on.
Yeah. And then you go out and you have to hunt these enormous creatures and you make weapons and armor out of their skin and bones. I mean, it's brutal, but it's great because, like, you go out and there's little deer and there's like stegosauruses and stuff that you kill and you get meat out of them, and then you could cook that meat over a fire and it would increase your stamina and stuff like that. And you had to time everything. You could make it rare, perfect, or well done. And well done, it was burnt and it was essentially useless.
No. Rare was like 25%. Well done was 100, and then it was like just burnt.
It was burnt. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, because you could burn it.
How many of these games have you played? Because there were a lot that are only released in Japan.
Yeah, including the newest one.
Yeah.
But so far, I'm trying to think. I know we played the original one, obviously.
Yeah, original Monster Hunter.
The next one I remember playing was on the DS, and it was 2, but it had like a bat thing on it.
Let me see. There was Monster Hunter G.
No, I didn't play that.
Monster Hunter Freedom.
That was the first. Oh, that was for the
PlayStation
Portable. I played that one.
Yeah, that was out in 2006.
Okay, and then there was a second one of those.
Yes, there was a Monster Hunter Freedom 2 that released in 2007, the following year.
Yeah.
And then after that, there was Freedom Unite. And
Freedom Unite.
And then we go to Monster Hunter Tri that came out for the Wii.
For the Wii.
And when that game came out for the Wii, I mean, we were excited isn't even the word.
Right, because that was that was the first one that was on a console that you could
since the original
that you could actually see the screen and everything happening on it since the first one.
And I was so sad because we put so many hours in the original Monster Hunter.
We really did.
I remember I went to my job and I showed up and I got let go. They got rid of some of the employees, and I was so bummed. I just said, you know what? I just want to go home and I just want to kill some monsters. And I go and I log in and it says, "Thank you for being a player, but the Monster Hunter servers are officially shut down." It was the worst day up to that point. I couldn't. I was like, could this day get any worse? You know?
Did you go outside and kick a stone and then it started raining?
I think I just started crying hysterically upstairs in my in-laws' house. So no different than my nightly routine every day. But yeah, I mean, when that happened, dude, I mean, there really isn't. I mean, that was probably there isn't a console game that I put more hours into than the original Monster Hunter.
Really? You think so?
Absolutely, dude. I love it. That's the only Monster Hunter I think I've beaten.
I think we beat
Lao Shan.
Yeah.
I was hammer all the way, baby.
We did it in the same room too, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
Yes, we did.
And I remember Scott, our friend Scott, was giving me a hard time because I was using hammer, but he was like, "Why are you using this hammer, Scott? Dragon, damn it!" And I was like, "This is what you use against Lao Shan. Like
he's not resistant to it.
I had a rust stone. It turned into like the ancient hammer, and I leveled it all the way up. It was the best hammer you could get.
Yeah,
and I loved it. I was always been a hammer fan, and never looked back.
You did for a while there because you went
I went
dual swords.
I went dual swords for a little bit, and not try.
No,
Was it try? No, it was.
It was the one for the DS, right?
I don't think I had it for the DS.
Did you? You did though.
I don't think so. I think it was. What's the last Monster Hunter that came out? The one for the Wii U.
Unite? Or was Unite the DS one?
Well, there was Try, and then I thought there was one that came out for the Wii U. I could be Monster Hunter 4. No, that was for. No, I'm looking at the notes. Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate. Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate is when I went. Because I had the underwater combat and everything. That's when I went dual swords to try that out. I know you were in the original game. You were bow.
I was the bow gun.
You were the bow gun. Which was awesome.
It still is my favorite thing.
Yeah,
it still is my favorite thing. And then Monster Hunter 2 came out, which then it got ported to us as Monster Hunter Freedom or whatever.
Right.
But they had a bow in that, and I was so upset. And I remember going to Scott's house, and he had a Japanese import of Monster Hunter 2.
That's right.
And he couldn't read any of the text, but he was showing me how to use the bow, and I was like, oh my god, this looks like so much fun. And then I played the PlayStation Portable one that had the bow, and I couldn't use it. I couldn't get into it on the handheld.
Yeah.
So I had to wait until this last Monster Hunter to really try the bow out. And then by then they had the singing, the hunter's horn.
The hunting horn.
Which
that thing is awesome.
I did not like to have to use the hammer, so to speak, but I just had so much fun with that hunting horn.
Yeah. No, and a full party of friends. That thing did unbelievable for what you could do.
It let me do what I want, like heal and buff.
Yeah.
Like the bow gun,
And it hit hard, too. If you needed
hard.
to get a couple hits in, it was pretty clutch.
Yeah.
We had a very well-rounded group. We really did. Because our other friend, Matt, was Lance.
Yeah.
I was Hammer. Scott was Great Sword.
Yeah.
And you were Bowgun.
Bowgun, yeah.
And that's just, you were the main guy with the traps, so you would set them up, and it was just... When that thing got on the ground, it was just absolute mayhem. It was a thing of beauty.
When the wyvern?
Yeah.
Oh,
we finally got the wyvern on the ground. It was absolutely crazy.
For sure. What in the first game? What wyvern did you like hunting?
Oh man. Well, my favorite's always going to be Cuckoo because that was the first one I encountered, and it's the one.
Cuckoo.
And it was because it was. I think we had the world record. I think we beat it in 15 seconds or something like that. Oh
God, yeah.
We literally annihilated. It landed in a trap and it didn't leave the trap. We just that poor thing. I loved. Was it Gravios?
Gravios.
He was one of the ones in the lava.
Yeah,
right?
there was Basarios, which was the rocky.
That's right.
And then
he was
there
the younger
Gravios.
version of Gravios. Yeah.
Spikier guy.
Yeah, the Gravios fight was awesome.
Did you only fight him in the volcano?
I'm pretty sure. And I loved how the different elements they had in this game. It wasn't just okay, go to this area and do it. You go to the volcano area,
worlds.
you need cool drinks because your health and endurance or whatever, they're being sapped. You go to cold areas, you need heat drinks. And there was a lot of preparation going into these fights, and it was really cool because you could collect ivy and herbs, and you can make potions, mega potions. There's a lot of really cool things that you could get. You could make your own ammo for your guns. You could make stun bombs, grenades. You could make your own traps. Everything. There are so many things available to you. You could buy them if you wanted, but it was cool to be able to collect and build your own as you go. So I was oh man, I'm out of this kind of shot. Let me go ahead and collect these. Okay, now I have more of them, and it's great that they get. It's not just all right, go to the shop, buy them, and let's go. And that's it. You start to memorize where these thunder bugs and all these things are.
And then the crafting of that was insane.
Yeah,
I remember I started crafting and I didn't realize that you had percentages for your success. So I was just making garbage, and I was like, this is stupid. This garbage sells for 1 point or 1 zenny or whatever they give you. And then I saw in the store a book of combos.
Book of combos, yeah.
And changed everything. It
And
raises
then
your
the last one was like 50,000 ever to buy, but like when you
Yeah.
had them, you had like almost 100% success rate.
Yeah, and I mean, granted, you had to take 6 of your 20 inventory slots to carry them out there for 100% success, but you could also, I think, stick them in your box and then craft from that, or maybe
Right.
not in the first one, but then in the later ones, they did fix crafting so that it was like super easy, fun,
Yeah.
and I would say necessary to craft, because I mean, you could just go out in the world and pick up so much stuff, and then
Yeah.
you're set for your next quest, you know, as long as you kept that going.
And I love that there were so many variations on the weapons and the weapon types, like the elements that you could get. Like I remember there was, I forget exactly what the name of it was, but there were those bugs that would fly around, you know, the bugs that would zap you.
Bug.
And yeah. And like, you know, when you get later levels, you would hit them and they would just explode, but you couldn't carve them. So you wanted to make the weak poison sword, hit them, hope it, and then they would just die that way.
If you're
So-
poison procced, they
yeah.
wouldn't
So
explode.
there are certain things that you had to grind to get items for,
Vespoid?
Maybe they were
Something?
Vespoids?
Yeah.
to get like weapons and stuff. And there was lightning, there was poison, there was water, there was fire, there was ice. There's all kinds of different stuff that you could get, and all the different armors, and each of them have their pros and cons. You have them for gunners, you have them for the normal melee weapon wielders, and they all have bonuses, different bonuses depending on who you're going up against. So you wanted to collect all the sets.
Yeah.
You go in to fight Kezu, like you want to have poison resistance against him
And shock.
and shock.
Because of his frickin'
Exactly.
oh.
So and the different wyverns have weaknesses too. So you're going to fight, a water guy. You want to have a lightning sword, or
So like that's like a common thing, right? You get like a really powerful weapon, you go like fight a monster, and it's like weak to this, so you're gonna kill it, right? In Monster Hunter, it never felt that way.
Right.
Like I never felt, apart from Cuckoo,
overpowered.
but I never felt overpowered. I was always like fearful that, and especially when one party member went down, I was like, crap, we have 2 more to go. I'm the bowgun person. I have like, the biggest shot of being one shot. And I just had this like apprehension about every battle. That's probably why I played bowgun. I was just like, I'm not going to be able to dodge anything.
Right.
I'm just going to sit in the back, and like if the monster comes towards me, I'm just going to run into the next room.
No, that's a very interesting point, because like especially when you go up against wyverns like Diablos.
Oh, God.
Who went underground and you didn't know where they were going to pop up, and
Right.
it doesn't matter how prepared you are. He hits you; it's almost a one-shot kill.
Yeah.
So like you could be super geared up, but they hit so hard, his charge, and it would launch you into the air. And like he says, when a teammate goes down, you're just like, oh my God, I got to stay, because once your whole team wipes, that's it. It's done.
Yeah, the mission's over.
The mission's over.
All
So
the money,
somebody's-
all the supplies you
Yep.
use, are done.
So you need to. It gets crazy. And Diablos, when he gets lower on health, the faster he becomes and more erratic in his movements.
Oh, yeah.
So he's
they
hard
all
to read.
have that, right?
He's hard to read.
They go into like a rage mode.
Yeah.
And the only way you can stop them, no, I don't think you can.
When they're in rage, I don't think you can stun them.
I don't think you can stun or sleep them.
Yeah.
So
I guess each wyvern had particular things you could cut off them. You can cut the tail, Diablos' horn, and they had certain items that you had a chance of getting out of them that you needed for items and armor.
Yeah.
So you didn't not even want to kill it, but you wanted to carve these extra items out
Before
before
you
you could do
kill
it. So you want to stun Diablos in a trap or whatever, get up and hit him in his face as hard as you can to
Yeah.
break those horns. And then you had to carve him during battle,
Right.
which it adds that additional tension element to it. And it was just a brilliant way to make a video game.
and like it to me it was cool that they went with wyverns.
Right.
Like for some reason, because you could have just said, "Oh yeah, well, I mean, basically they are dragons," but it was just so different. Like it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it set it apart from like, okay, a bunch of knights or a bunch of warriors going to take on the dragon. It was like, no, these things are everywhere.
Yeah.
It's not the one dragon that they're going to put down. It's all these wyverns.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just felt like that was like for a stylistic choice that set it apart.
I remember the first time when I was fighting Cuckoo, and it was just me against him, and it's ridiculously hard going up for your first time by yourself.
Yeah.
And you're sitting there, you're playing, you're fighting, like, okay, I'm getting them down. And all of a sudden you hear something, and you're just like, what the hell is it? And all of a sudden Rathalos comes and lands. I was like, are you kidding me? Now I have this giant wyvern coming at me, and there's no way. So you just have to run.
Yeah.
And you have to hope one of them leaves the area. And run, and then you dive in that slow motion dive out of the way. And it's absolutely crazy. And one thing you had to remember is you had to remember those paint shots or paint bombs.
Yes.
So you could mark them so you know what area they're going to. Because they would
Right.
always spawn, some of them would spawn in different areas. So when they flew away, you didn't know where they were going.
And if you spent 5 minutes fighting them, you did a lot of damage to them, your paint wore off, they flew away, you didn't know where to go, there was a chance that they were going to eat or they were going to drink or they were going to sleep and regain their health.
Regain their health, that's right.
And you did have an hour, but like the other thing too is that you had the first run of wyverns, but then you had the plus,
Right.
like the prestiged wyverns,
Yeah.
which were like a lot harder to kill, did a lot more damage, took a lot more life. So
Yeah, but the rewards were greater
Oh,
for
yeah.
taking them down. But it's great when they do fly away and you came and they fall asleep and you enter and you're like sneaking up to it. You're setting a trap and waking them up and having them charge at you, fall in the trap. You're just like ah.
yeah,
Oh man, it's great. Knocking a wyvern over with the hammer with my spin, and then I go batters up and I hit him and just knocks him right over and just all right, he's down. Scott, go for it with your greatsword. Oh, it was great.
did you ever feel bad for the wyverns?
No,
No,
no.
just because they were
It's kill or
jerks,
be, it's
or-
kill or be killed, man.
Okay.
I mean, I'm just sitting there picking ivy, and they come starting stuff with me. I'm not doing anything to them. They just come down and just start, killing the Kelby.
Yeah.
That's my Kelby.
Kill. Did you ever feel bad for killing a Kelby?
I did feel bad for killing the Kelby.
Did you know later in the later games you never killed the Kelby? You just knocked him out.
Yeah. But that's even worse because you carved them while they were still alive.
You took their meat off, and then they got up and ran away to die a slow, agonizing death.
Yeah. You don't need your stomach or liver. Get out of here.
That was really weird how you could get their liver, but they just shot it off.
And there was armor for Kelby hide, right? Wasn't there a Kelby hide
There
armor?
was like leather armor.
Leather armor
that
you needed Kelby hide for?
Yeah.
So I mean, there's not a huge amount of difference between the games, other than new wyverns, new weapons. But they not until the new game, I believe, is coming out, where they're adding like special attacks, aerial attacks, and stuff like that.
Stances, right? Or like styles of fighting.
Right.
Isn't that right?
Yeah.
So I guess you could say like the biggest addition they make is the new weapons.
Mm-hmm.
And then past that, it's in the third one they added the underwater combat.
Right, which was
Brutal. I thought it was going to be it was pretty tough. And then in the newest one, they added the ability to climb the monsters. So you could get on a wyvern's back and, spend so much time like hanging onto him and dealing damage that way. And that was another way that you could get like special items
Right.
if you did those kind of takedowns. But now with the fighting styles, I don't know if they're more like the ways that you change each weapon, or if they're, you know what I mean?
yeah.
I'm curious to see what that's all about, because
Yeah.
that sounded very interesting. when I read
I
up on
really
it.
hope they release it for the new Nintendo console, the NX. That's, I guess, slated for release next year.
I thought it was there's details on this. It's coming out in July.
The new one's coming out in July.
The new Monster Hunter, yeah,
But
Monster
it's going to be
Hunter-
for 3DS, right?
Monster Hunter Generations is
I think that's handheld only.
it could be.
If it came out for the Wii U, I'd buy it.
Yeah,
I mean, absolutely. But I don't own the 3DS anymore, so
just 3DS.
I can't. Unfortunately, I can't buy it. So
It's $200. Come on.
get it for me for Father's Day present on Sunday.
Okay.
Happy Father's Day, man! Here's a $200 console. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah,
You
I'm,
feel-
I'm a good friend.
So, do you have a favorite wyvern, like out of the games that we've played that you? I know that there's a lot. I'm trying to
There's so
remember. I'm
many.
trying to remember a lot of them.
I would have to say that my favorite, because I played with like you guys, Scott specifically for this reason, I like Plesioth.
I was just going to say that. I was just going to say that. That's one of the funniest moments I've ever had is when you did the voice of Plesioth when he would come in. Hi guys, guy, come on, play.
I
was
don't
just
know
so
why,
goofy.
but that made me laugh so much. And then Scott would start singing Jesse's Girl, but he would replace it with Plessie's Girl.
I wanna be Plessy's girl.
Where could I find a wyvern like that? Hilarious to me. Like I could say, like stylistically, I like Kazoo.
Yes.
Kezu, or his later. The one later is like so much more horrific.
Yeah.
I can't remember what he's called though.
I'm not sure. The one from 3 Ultimate, right?
Yeah. I don't know. And then there was a dark version of him. I can't remember what he's called.
Who was the boss in Try? I mean, in like Try and 3 Ultimate, because Lao Shan was in the original Monster Hunter.
It was Gen Moran.
Gen Moran.
Remember, you were on like a skiff in the sand.
Yes. Okay.
And he was jumping up like all around you, and then you would have to like pilot the skiff, and you'd have cannons to shoot him, and then when he got close, you had to use the monster drill.
Yeah.
Dragon drill, whatever it's called. The thing that like speared him.
The Dragon Buster was.
Dragon Buster. There you go.
It was a much faster version of like of Shadow.
Oh no, am I wrong? Was it? There was an underwater one. In 3 Ultimate, there was an underwater wyvern that you had to fight. That would go around like in an underwater temple.
Oh, really?
And it was like a giant dog dragon. I'm not. I mean, I'm not.
I still have Plessy's girl on my head. I'm just still like, I wanna be Plessy's girl. Yeah, it's good times.
Saberoth was like the saber-tooth tiger, but with like wings. And there was the puppy wyvern that was like a Tyrannosaurus Rex, and he would like roll around in the mud.
Oh yes.
Barioth.
Barioth, yeah. And he would shake the mud
mud.
That thing was badass. Wasn't there a gorilla in one of the handheld versions?
Yeah, there was like a Kong or whatever they called it in 2 or the Monster Hunter Freedom Unite.
Yeah, Unite.
I think or Monster Hunter Freedom at least had the monkey.
Right.
I can't remember what he's called though. It's been so long since we actually played these games.
I really wish that I could go and play the second one or play the first one online. You can go plug it in and play my offline character, but
play your offline character.
Yeah, now
that's all you can do.
That's all you can do. You can just play the offline, but there's no point to that for me because I only played these games to play with my friends. I never did any of the single player stuff besides the beginning tutorial.
See, like, I mean, not that it was any easier. No, it was easier.
Single player was easier, yeah.
No. I mean, like, it was a lot easier when they moved it to handheld to, like, group up with friends.
Right.
But they didn't have, like, wide area internet connection for, like, the first 3DS one. And then when they did, or maybe I'm thinking of the PlayStation one.
That's why it amazes me. Like, they're releasing this one. Why wouldn't you do it for the Wii U? Like, they work hand in hand together. I don't understand it.
I don't really get it either. But
I'd much rather play it on a big screen than a small handheld.
The thing we have to remember is this is a port to North America. Like, it was released last year in Japan.
True.
So
True.
The next one that they develop is probably going to be on the new Nintendo system.
I hope so.
Or at least, for the Wii U.
I would like to get back into it.
Would you, though?
Yeah, I would. Even with Legion coming out.
Well, what was your favorite part about Monster Hunter? Because, I mean, there's, obviously there's the crafting, there's the weapons, there's the armor.
My favorite part was that when I finally found out, like, who I wanted to look like the armor is just grinding that out.
Yeah.
I wanted the Diablo set. I wanted that, and just fighting him, and it not getting any easier. I mean, even and it's just like you have like a small percentage chance to get this one item, like Diablo's marrow or spine or something like that. And when you finally get it, just that moment of just like, yes, I finally got it.
Yeah.
And then, it was just awesome. Playing with friends in this game is just there's very few console experiences I've had to where it's that much enjoyment, especially when you can do a LAN with your friends in the same room. I mean, it's just the joy that you get out of it is just it's awesome.
But I'm also very thankful that we can connect from afar.
Oh, absolutely.
Not that there's anything better than like lugging your TV and console everywhere, but it just I don't know. Like when we played the first one, it was cool to get together in the room. But then after that, I got so spoiled by not having to do that that I don't know if I could do it again.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Giggy Knox was the later Kezu.
He was poison, right? Wasn't he poison?
Yeah, he was mega poison.
The poison in that game was brutal.
It was
super. You needed to have the.
You really
antidotes.
did need to have an antidote, or if you were skillful enough, not that any of us were, it would just deplete your health. It wouldn't take away
the maximum.
So it would just you would see like a red bar, and then if you didn't get hit, that red bar would stay, and you would gradually heal it up once the poison wore off. But if you got hit, it took the whole thing away.
Yeah.
So the antidote was like.
And the Giganox was rough because he had those little guys coming out too. That would
he
would
would lay the
suction
eggs
on you. Yeah.
Yeah. Those things are awful.
It was creepy.
So horrible.
It was creepy. We should cosplay as one of those.
Should cosplay as
a bunch of Giggies.
I don't know that I would do that, Matt.
It wouldn't be that difficult. We would just run and just like jump and leech on the people and just be like, That would be funny. What do they have any new weapon types in the new one that's coming out?
I don't know. I know that I wanted to play more with it, but I didn't. But they had an insect staff in the last one.
Interesting.
Which is pretty cool because you could like do a bunch of combos with the staff, and it would power up your insect, and then you could command the insect to like fly out and attack. It was. I'm not making it sound very cool, but it was very neat. I liked it a lot.
Insect, I summon you.
Yeah, that little beetle, man.
It's pretty boss.
It was pretty much always a beetle. Yeah, I don't know. It was cool. It was a neat weapon.
Nice.
It's pretty unique. I'm trying to think if there was another one too, but I don't know that there was. Really need to play this again. Now that I have my new 3DS.
Yeah, it's true. Start over again from scratch.
I don't have to. All my save data is there.
No, you can make a new character anyway.
I guess that's true.
I'm trying to think what I used in Ultimate. Because there was the gun lance that I did not use, which was cool.
Gun lance. Yeah, it's cool how they separated that.
Yeah.
Because it used to just be one style of lance in the first game. It had a gun lance component.
Yeah. There was the switchblade, the axe, and the greatsword, which is really cool.
That was really cool. And then you had the serum vial that would be in there.
That was really, really cool. Dual blades, obviously, I loved.
I always thought of that as the alchemist weapon, the switch axe.
The rage move on the dual blades is like the
coolest
thing
you
ever.
Just stand over them and blade dance.
Yeah, I just go right over right over his stomach. You guys get that in this, and I'm just and you see the blood flying everywhere. It's like, yes, this is for me. This is brutal.
It was pretty brutal. You had like tomahawks with one of them, didn't you?
Yeah. When you got the higher one that had like the blue sharpness and stuff on it, that like didn't, because the sharpness went down so quick on the dual blades. Yeah. They hit so hard, but they went down so fast. But my goodness, did they hit hard, man?
Yeah,
it was so much fun.
And then you had the hammer and the hunting horn. The two kind of like heavy. I mean, heavy weapons, right?
The blunt weapons.
Yeah. I don't know that you could knock a wyvern over with the hunting horn, though.
I think you could.
Could you?
Yeah, I think the blunt weapons you could.
I never used it for that. I went in and got my combo, chilled, and played music for you guys.
But that was the main purpose of it. But I mean, if you did it, like I said, the later versions of it did ridiculous damage. I mean, really good stuff. Because people would attack. And while they're playing the song, they would just know where to hit. It's like, swing the thing this way, and it would hit.
Yeah.
Playing a note, swing it this way, playing a note. And it's just,
That was so tricky. I missed so many attacks because I needed to play the note that put my weapon behind me.
Yeah.
So then the wyvern's like, ha!
You're just like, well, I'm not going to stop now. I'm going to finish this song even though I'm on fire.
Yeah, exactly. I just roll away and continue playing the song. And he holds it up, and he's like... It was pretty good.
That was a really cool addition when they did add that. I was really excited for that because you didn't really have a healer,
Well, so in the first one, you made those items,
right?
Those horn items that gave you the defense attack buff, and then there was the antidote horn and the healing horn, and I always had one of each.
Yeah,
because that's what I enjoyed doing, just standing
got like
back
2
and-
or 3 uses of it before it broke.
They
or
did,
something,
yeah,
right?
they did break, and then I think like later they started making it so that the feline food didn't just give you like health and stamina or whatever. It gave you like chance for your horn not to break, or chance when you're gathering to get like the good item,
Right.
or when you're carving to get like the better stuff, or like if you got knocked down you would stand up quicker. Like all these little like minute things that made the
Right.
food in that game so cool. But yeah, the hunting horn really helped like support players, like
Yeah.
and I think that like increased the player pool because not everybody wants to get up there and like smash face.
Speaking of food that you mentioned,
Yeah,
the kitchen,
the kitchen.
where you could get you combine the different food items to get like a certain
yeah.
amount. That was awesome. And you had the cats come and serve it to you.
Yeah,
That was. I'm trying to think. I know there was hardtack and like
Hardtack.
salmon cheese or something really weird like I mixed, and it was
Yeah.
like you were well fed. It's like what the hell is a hardtack? You know.
they had some pretty good combos in there. The dragon tail was like one of the high end things.
Yeah. But it was pretty cool. And then, well, like as you raised in rank, you got the better food, right?
Yeah,
Isn't that what it was?
it's
You had
like-
access to it.
Yeah, I think it was ranked because you had like the brackets of missions, and then once you got to like the last bracket of missions, you're like living in a palace
Yeah.
and like eating all the best. I'm gonna have to do a Bean Teeth Monster Hunter one.
Yeah.
The felines.
That would be awesome. Get served by a bunch of cats. The cleanliness, it gets a 0, but food quality, top notch.
There's a hair in my soap. Did you enjoy having the little cohort? So like in I think 3 Ultimate,
When you had the little sidekicks
just
go with you.
Shakalaka or whatever. You could kind of like dress them up and with different helmets and give them different skills.
I
And
like
stuff.
the ones that healed. That was really it. But then again, I didn't
You
do
needed
much
the
of the
help.
I didn't do much of the single player. So
That's true.
I got them, but then that was really it. My main focus was anybody getting on tonight? No. Okay, I'll play something else. So I didn't like getting on without playing with. That was where I really enjoyed that game. And but now the original Monster Hunter, I played with a bunch of random people a lot because I was obsessed with that game.
Yeah, you just play with anybody. Just get on and join the lobby.
There was a
and-
lobby that had 2-3 openings. All right, let's go do this. You know,
Yeah.
what are we hunting? So, but in the later versions, yeah, not so much. I think because I didn't have as much time, so I was just like, I just want to experience with my friends. But like back, when the first game came out, I was just like, all right, this is all I'm doing. It's just this. Let's just play nonstop. So,
right.
But it was fun, man.
Kongala was the name of that monkey.
Kongala.
Yeah, Kongala.
So you
was
were
the-
you were right. It had a Kong name.
I had a feeling. And that was interesting too, because like not only the wyverns, you had like the I guess just like asshole animals, right?
Yeah.
In one of the latest ones, it was like a giant lemur that you had fought, and his eyes went like really like buggy. And, he was creepy to look at.
And that's exactly. I mean, it's not bad enough you're fighting these wyverns that can one-shot you. You got to worry about bugs and other animals that are doing. And you had those stupid black cats that would come and steal your items away from you if they.
Yeah, the Malinks.
Yeah, and then you had to go and hit them and try to steal it back. And
Or if failing that, you had to find their little hidden village.
Yeah.
And get the item back if you
Yeah.
really wanted it. Like if they stole your barbecue pit.
that or they always stole like my mega potion. Like it was always my healing stuff that they stole. They take my
And
my
Matt only brings one mega potion.
because I never get hit.
Ketchawacha was the giant lemur monkey thing. That's so freaky. It had like an elephant snout, and then it had these huge ears and like a giant spiked tail, and then it had these just giant eyes. So when it went into rage mode, it looked horrible. like I hated fighting it, but I was so glad when it was dead because I was just like, this is freaky. I'm so upset that I have to do this mission.
I would love it if they did like an HD remake of the original Monster Hunter.
Oh, the original one?
I would love it.
Or if they just like in one of the newer games had like a server where you just like that's all you had access to is that stuff. I'm a big fan of server limitations.
Yeah, it would be. I mean, I'm old school on a lot of my stuff. I love the new versions of the games that come out, but nothing is going to compare to my first playthroughs of these games. Like the original will always be my favorite, no matter what they add. You know, it's what I have the most memories with, and whether that's very narrow-minded of me or what.
No, I'm just thinking of it because I go the opposite way. Like I like each newer incarnation of something a little bit better, as long as it's not a sequel.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so Monster Hunter adds different things. Like, you're not ruining a story by saying, now you're in this village, now these monsters are attacking you, now you can have this armor.
They're all like different worlds, essentially, yeah.
But like Chrono Trigger, I do always like more than Chrono Cross.
Right.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that's where it is for me.
Until they make Chrono Trigger 2.
Would they do that, though?
2018.
2018.
Coming, just for you. The Brian Husky edition.
I remember when they were trying to make like a 3D like polished version of Chrono Trigger, and it got shut down by Square Enix. They got like a cease and desist because fans were going to make it, you know.
Oh.
Crimson Tears or something like that.
I'll say, if fans are signing petitions and want it made, that's
a sign that
that's a sign.
You can probably sell a product, right?
Hello, Sony Entertainment and Dragoon. Let's get on this.
Yeah, Dragoon.
Can you imagine that if I was watching E3 this year and they're like, "Hey, we're announcing a Dragoon 2," I would literally probably have had a heart attack.
Would you settle for a Legends of Dragoon remake?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. Anything Dragoon, anything in the Dragoon. world.
Anything to acknowledge that it exists.
Yeah, yeah.
I think they're still not over the horrible voice acting. They're like, we shouldn't even pretend that we made that.
The game's amazing, and everybody should play it.
What's his name?
Dart.
No.
Shayna. It was great. Just bring me in. I will voice Dart.
You'll voice Dart?
I will voice Dart.
Give me your best Dart when he's fighting the guys that they're bad, the bad guys.
Hey, you bad guys, come over here. I hit you with my sword with my vampire slash.
Why is he from Jersey?
I don't know. And I don't know why I said vampire slash. There is no vampire slash. But that's how I envision Dart. He's like from Jersey, from Brooklyn.
Legend of Dragoon. Twilight Edition in Jersey.
That'd be awesome. I would so play that game. See, that's my voice acting
good.
skills. So anybody wants to hire me, I could do a Brooklyn, Jersey accent.
Say hello to Spoons, Jersey.
Hey, you guys, come over here. Oh, I'm just so talented.
Monster Hunter.
Great game.
Great game.
And I want to play more. If they ever come out for the Wii U or the next gen, I'll get it. I will not buy another 3DS.
No. They probably will, because they did have a newer one on the Wii. And that had to have gone
Monster Hunter Tri,
somewhat well, right?
Because enough to do 3 Ultimate.
Yeah.
You know?
So you would think, like, this one maybe, like, give it a little while for being on 3DS, and then they'll do Monster Hunter Generations,
Ultimate.
like, full frontal family edition, and and it'll be on the Wii U, right?
just a wyvern, like, holding open
Holding its
like
coat
a trench coat open. It's like, hey, guys, let's play. Oh, the family's welcome.
Why is the wyvern from Jersey?
Everybody's from Jersey. Did you know that? Yeah. We're all from Jersey.
You must defend your village, New Jersey.
That'd be awesome.
For the evil wyvern invasion.
Right.
They're hiking up all the prices.
They're invading Ocean City. Got to stop them.
Good God. What are we on about?
Nothing.
Would you try a new weapon?
Yes.
What would you try?
If I had to try a brand new weapon right now, like of all the weapons that are out there, I would probably go with probably Switchblade.
Switch axe.
Yeah. It always looked very interesting. 'Cause I'm not a great sword person. I'm not a fan of the super slow attacks, even though I loved Hammer. But Hammer had like that whirlwind attack, so it gave me like that speed feel.
Yeah.
But that always kind of looked cool to me, how it worked.
Because you had like Hammer mode, which is the axe, and then you had the
Great
sword mode, which was the great sword.
Yeah. So you had like the best of both worlds, and you had to know when to switch in and out of it. And I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Definitely. What about you?
I don't know. It's hard to say because I honestly would like to play bow on a console again, but I don't know if I could handle it.
Yeah.
It's a little wonky. I will say that I would just play Katana, the great sword one.
Yeah. Katana was cool. Because didn't it have like a blood activate motor, or like where like you got to do like a lot quicker attacks?
It did have
Similar-
like
similar
a
to the
soul, like you could bring the weapon's soul out, and yeah, it like glowed, and
That did like a lot of damage.
I think it did, yeah.
Yeah.
Plus, it had like the reach of a lance,
Yeah.
right, but not the power of a great
Yeah,
sword.
because
so
you could like literally like jab with it,
yeah,
Yeah.
and just like
and you could block with it too.
I don't know that you could. I'm just trying to think about that.
Okay.
Maybe you could. Fatalis. You remember Fatalis?
Oh yeah, you gotta remember Fatalis.
Gotta remember Fatalis.
We fatality'd Fatalis.
I don't know that I think he made us quit.
He made us rage quit. Sorry guys, not today.
I think we got to Fatalis and we were just like,
It's just not happening.
no, I'm not gonna do it.
Me. You guys stink.
Or that could have been someone else, but Fatalis is like the giant dragon, right? With like the really big like alligator snout.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. I'm not sure.
He was at the end of 4 though.
Then I never would have gotten to him because I didn't play 4. I played original, one of the handhelds briefly, Monster Hunter 3, or Monster Hunter Tri, and Monster Hunter Tri Ultimate.
No, he was in the first game. He was.
He was in the first one?
Yeah.
I thought, but he
Well,
wasn't
there
the
was-
final one.
That
No,
was the
Lao
Elder
Shan.
Dragon, and then you could also fight Fatalis.
Okay. I
Maybe
just
it
can't.
was in G.
I can't visualize him. That's why I'm having trouble. Especially with that snout thing you said, I'm having trouble.
Yeah, he's got like a.
I can visualize what like the creature like looks like, but like in game, I can't.
Looked pretty horrible. He also looked a little goofy.
Horrible and goofy, the ultimate combo.
I think so. You had to kill Fatalis to get like the ninja armor like at the very end of the game. I thought.
I thought, isn't Fatalis? Wasn't he only like single player, not group?
No, that was Monoblos.
Okay.
Was only single player. He was like the boss of the single player campaign.
What game was that unicorn in that you could kill? That lightning.
That was the first one.
That was the first one.
Yeah,
too?
Kieran.
Kieran. Yeah.
It was a special event.
special
Remember
event.
how they used to have the special events?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah, the Kieran blade that dropped, or the stuff to make a Kieran blade.
there was that giant metal sword that you could only get through the events too.
Yeah.
And then there was a feline umbrella.
I liked an ultimate when they had like you could go up against 2 at once. You had like the 2 different wyvern, like you'd be battling off like that. Like you had like there was like a black Diablos and like a brown Diablos. You're fighting like They had
Right.
like the special like arena events.
Oh
Those-
yeah, because you didn't. Yeah, you weren't out in the world. You were just in a little coliseum.
Yeah,
those were cool.
Those were really really neat.
Those are cool, and you could. I think you can still do those, right?
I'm sure you can. I mean, the servers are still up.
Did
as
they
far as I
rotate,
know.
or did you just like go to the mission board and like find them?
I'm not sure.
I couldn't
honestly.
remember.
I thought they rotated. I thought they were like weekly events or something.
Maybe they did.
They would add new
Pink,
ones. In
Pink Rathian and
Yeah.
Gold Rathian or Rathalos. Sorry.
and they were just different color in terms of difficulty, right? I mean, they didn't drop anything. You
no,
couldn't get like
you had like Pink Rathalos armor. Or
you
Pink
could
Rathian
you
armor.
could get
yeah,
the actual
yeah,
armor
yeah.
in that color. Okay,
Yeah, I do believe so.
that's pretty cool. Nice. Well, what else? What else can we possibly cover with Monster Hunter?
I don't know. That's kind of it. I mean, talked about the crafting. Talked about my badass Kezu armor
Yeah.
just now.
Talked about the weapons. Talked about the new game.
What do you guys think about Monster Hunter? Do you like it?
Wow, we love it, guys. Keep doing good job. Thanks. Thanks.
Live studio audience. Thank you. Yay.
So yeah, I mean, let us know. I mean, do you guys play Monster Hunter? Do you have a favorite game in the Monster Hunter series? What's your favorite weapon? Who's your favorite wyvern to fight against? Who's your least favorite? There's a plethora of questions. We want all the answers because we want to know. So shoot us all that info on all of our social media at cashrevive@gmail.com. Look us up on Twitter at cashrevive. Facebook. We are on YouTube. Fortunately, not as many videos as I want, but we will be getting around to that.
Yeah.
Because we are having a video and video software sponsor who'll be giving us tons of stuff for free. Wink, wink. If anybody's out there and wants to do that, we'll we'll give you props.
We just want to entertain.
We just want to entertain. But you can, even more importantly, you can find all of us and all of our stuff on geekstreetstation.com. We are there with our brothers in crime, our For Geek's Sake, and the Thirsty Gamers. They cover everything from board games, movies, comics, tech news, and then we have video games, video game music. So we literally have everything that you need in the geek world under one banner at geekstreetstation.com. Please check it out. Brian, anything you want to do before we cheese and rice it out of here?
Anything I want to do? I want to learn how to kayak.
Okay.
Do you have to learn that, or do you just do it?
I think you just do it. But I think I saw an article that now you can get a DUI for kayaking.
You can get a DUI for kayaking?
Yeah, for kayaking.
I wonder if you can get a DUI for, like, riding in an inner tube on a river while drunk.
Maybe.
Are you driving?
I don't think so, because I think it's driving you. You're not. The water is
in Russia, inner tube drives you.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. Fantastic. Well, again, thank you guys all for being here and joining us for this edition of Monster Hunter. Next week, we're going to have a special guest on the show. We live on location at Hourglass Brewery.
Ooh.
So be sure to check that out. So again, thank you all for listening, and we will see you next week.
Bye.